Greetings, YouTube. This is Rhett at Rolling Forward. And today I'm going to speak a little bit more about the reduced time typically spent in rehab by a new spinal cord injured person today versus the time spent 50 years ago, back in my day. I was injured in 1968, did my initial rehab at Rancho, as I've noted several times, also 50 years ago, and spent about 5 months at Rancho doing rehab. Today, I hear from acquaintances, from feedback, both on my site as well as some of the national spinal cord injury sites available, which provide a lot of useful information. Also some wacko stuff, so don't just believe every single thing you read, but some useful stuff. I have heard firsthand of several people who did less than 2 months of rehab, and these people were sent home knowing very little about their injury and how to care for themselves, very little, in fact zero, about how to find and hire attendants. They were very, very unaware of how to live their lives, how to care for themselves. This is, in my opinion, a dangerous practice. There are multiple reasons. Insurance companies, money's always at the root of things. And these people are almost guaranteed to be rehospitalized in a short term because they were unaware of how to care for themselves, and as a direct result of that, they got a pressure sore, is a big one. They did not care for their bladder and urinary tract at all, have devastating UTI infections. It's really, it's disheartening for me to hear about people who are frightened, alone, and looking for information. Where can I get information? To the insurance companies, I would say, look, cutting somebody off after 6 or 8 weeks of rehab in a rehabilitation center is really a false savings. As I said, that person is highly likely to end up rehospitalized in the near term due to their ignorance of how to care for themselves. They were not given enough time to learn. The institutions where they do rehab did not have enough time to convey the volume of information needed to give someone a fair chance at leading a healthy and successful life going forward as a spinal cord injured person. Information is power, and that's a fact in just about every facet of life. Information can take away the fear. It's not going to take away the fact that someone has become a disabled person after having not been disabled, or after having been not disabled. And it can prepare you to meet your own fears, to meet the fears of people who are discharged. I was very frightened when I was discharged after, 5 months, give or take. And I had pretty complete information about how to care for myself Rancho had provided a number of early evening orientation meetings, gatherings, where the families and friends of patients, the families of people who have incurred a spinal cord injury and are now preparing to leave the rehabilitation center, there was enough time for Rancho to help my family learn about my injury, to give my family some preparation for caring for me at home. This was a big help to my family. In turn, was a big help to me, and in fact, was a big help to insurance companies or whoever is paying the bill, taxpayers in many cases. But I knew how to avoid developing a pressure sore. I knew the importance of hydrating myself well all the time. I knew the importance of the longevity of one day's failure of pressure management, pressure on the skin. One day's failed efforts can lead to weeks of time spent in bed and weeks and months spent in the hospital if a pressure sore needs surgical intervention. Also, I had enough time in rehab to speak with physical therapists, occupational therapists, and importantly, seating specialists, so that I knew what I wanted in a wheelchair. What was my use going to be? Was I going to sit at home all day, every day, and watch soap operas on TV? Or was I going to use my chair, my power chair, my new power chair? Was I going to use that to go out into the world on a regular basis? Was I going to be driving on sidewalks only? Sidewalks and grass and gravel? Anyway, many considerations that I did have some awareness of because I had enough time to pick it up both from the professional therapists as well as from people who were in the hospital with a spinal cord injury, learning their own experiences and what they found they liked and didn't like, what worked and didn't work, how to live. The dramatic reduction in time is wrong, in my opinion. It is a disservice to send people home when they are simply an accident or an injury to happen because they don't know the importance and how to do that to avoid injury themselves. It was good for me 50 years ago. That particular aspect of rehab medicine currently is a move in the wrong direction. And I think I'll end this video with those comments. And I want to thank you for watching. Again, as usual, please do subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps me. So, YouTube, ciao.